What up, everyone? What up? Welcome in, everyone. I presume the sound is good because I took away the mic. Welcome in, Star Round 7. Welcome in, everyone. We're going to jump right into this video. Hi, Sister Gail. Because, the audio was messing up on my last video, but I'm kind of getting the vibe that is Candace Owens watching? Because it's like literally she literally just said a lot of the things that I just came on here and I just said, right? And I've been saying this the whole time, how Charlie put some sort of tear right in our reality, right? So this is kind of, now what Candace Owens is saying. So it's getting interesting. Welcome in, Barbara. Hi, Lady Divine. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome back to the channel Instructions for Humanity. It is your girl, Tahira. I am your supernatural quantum healer, psychic investigator. And guys, if you want to book a session with me, there'll be some links down below. I remove entities for a living, guys. And I mean, these are reptilians, greys, witches, warlocks, succubus, incubus. Energy vampires, parasitic energies, you name it, guys. This is where we are. It's the principalities of darkness that it talks about in the Bible. This is what we're clearing in this season, and I've been ordained to do this. So if you need to book a session of entity removal, then there will be some links down below. You can also email me at instructions number 4 humanity at gmail.com. Okay, Lego guys, let's get into this video. More than half of you guys that watch me on a regular basis are not subscribed to the channel. Guys, please subscribe to the channel. Click on the subscribe button. I put my heart, my soul, my passion into bringing you guys these messages. And please put a like on the video when you come in, guys. So, you know me, I'm a bit of a perfectionist at times. I don't like when my audio's messed up. But I wanted to piggyback off of the last message because it's given the vibe that either Candace Owens girl is a seer, right, in the spirit, or she's watching me or us or whatever is going on. She literally just did a show. I saw a clip on it. I saw a clip of it, and she brought up a something from 2018 where this tweet that Kanye West tweeted, right? I love the way that Candace Owens thinks, right? And so some guy was kind of breaking down how that tweet put a tear or ripped a hole in our reality because what did I just get on here and say a few hours ago? The reason why the Candace Owens archetype is allowed to talk with her almost 6 million people just on YouTube alone is because they are using her as a mouthpiece. Candace doesn't know this, but she may know this because she said something very interesting about handlers as well. So she is literally pointing out how you can put a hole in the reality when you shift the paradigm because the whole point of what they were saying is that Candace Owens at that time, right back in 2000 and what 18, she was of course exposing the left, right, the far left, and she had spent and did a whole expose of years later when the whole George Floyd thing happened. And I find that interesting, guys, because if you've been in the psychic investigation, you will understand that Candace Owens, what she truly is the biblical Rebecca. And she is the mother of both Jacob, which later became Israel, which is technically the black race, and Esau, which we know Charlie Kirk has that deep within his ancestral codes. It's very interesting how all of this is being narrated through Candace Owens, right? This is what this is allowing us to do, right? We're now taking a bird's eye view where the physical investigation, right, has kind of worn off. People have come up with what they've decided that happened. Some people say, hey, we never saw really a death. Some people say, oh, still, poor Charlie and poor Erica and all of that. Everybody has already picked a side, but there are still some people narrating this thing. And we find it very interesting that Candace Owens has now become the narrator, right? And so when she's talking about putting a tear in the reality, it's what she's saying is putting a tear in the reality, because this woman that literally exposes the far left, now what is she doing? She's kind of exposing the far right, and she's walked back on some of the Trump stuff. She goes as to far to say that literally Trump is the reason why Charlie is not here anymore. What did we just say, guys? Did we not just say that what Source said is the reason why they pulled the Charlie Kirk incident is because it worked so well when they pulled the Trump incident. When Trump got that bullet grazed on his ear, that is when the tides turned, because even the media was talking bad about him. But when he, so to speak, took one for the team, for America, that was all staged because they knew that they were going to use Trump to bring in this new world order or new world domination. They knew they were going to use him for that. And so they had to stage an event that would allow us to change our viewpoint. And it had to be that dramatic. Well, flash forward to what happened with the Charlie Kirk situation. People are literally, their third eyes are open, and people are like, wait a minute, something weird is here. And the internet just went in and started to peel back the layers. This is the hole in reality. This is literally what Candace Owens literally just said this evening on her podcast. I was able to see a clip of it. So it's just a confirmation, guys. What this thing is much bigger than you thought. We're looking at our reality splitting apart. One world ending and a new beginning. But in order to have the new beginning and the ending, we have to rip a hole into this reality. We've been talking about this for a while. I've been saying it pretty much in every video. Charlie put a hole in this reality. Charlie put a tear in this reality. And now Candace Owens is echoing that same sentiment, which is just another data point that we are on the right path. And the whole tear is this, because they're trying to point you to right isn't right and left isn't right. It's somewhere in the middle. Where is it? I'm asking myself, T, where is it? It's through the hole. You have to rip the hole in order to see clearly. And this is, Candace Owens is our narrator now. Everyone else has dropped out of the race. Erica is there to serve a purpose, is to literally allow for the opposite to hold the polarity, as we have the evil wife that a lot of people don't believe is grieving properly. Then we have this other character that is triumphing, and she's on an island all by herself, right? She literally said that too, by the way. It's very interesting that a lot of the things I'm saying, like she's literally saying, she was saying it in a joking way, right? And just on her show just a moment ago, the clips that I saw, that she was on an island, that she was a Nigerian princess on an island by herself, but she was leading into a joke. But what did I just say? I said Candace Owens, they've kind of drifted her away, and now she's on an island all by herself. Like, these are key codes, right? These are key codes telling you what is happening. And the whole point of the whole in reality is to get you guys to see that it's not right or left, but it's through the hole that you rip into the reality. That hole that Charlie ripped, Charlie did start a tear. Some of us went into it. If you're on this channel, you went into it because you got curious about the truth. That is what she's pointing out. But I don't know if people are getting it. Because the hole in that reality was she was a Trumpian, and now she's not. And so literally, she's put a hole in the reality of literally Republican to the day you die, Democrat to the day you die, that you're not allowed to, just because you're a Republican, you have to agree with everything. She put a tear in that. And the reason why there must be a tear in that, because this final season says they have to tell us what has been happening. And it's almost a sick game because it's like, hey, humanity, I'm going to give you a chance to get out of this, but I'm not going to outwardly tell you, but I will hint to it. I will allude to it. And it will be up to you if you can pick up the key codes and get out of this paradigm. And so I want everyone to know that the reason why Charlie Kirk is showing up in your field of awareness is because you are supposed to follow the tear, the rip, the hole that he left. It's an exit point. You're not to be consumed by it. And you're not to be like either for Erica or for the narrators, right? These are the narrators. We got Erica and then we got Candace Owens. We got one that is a villain and we got one that people are rooting for. But nevertheless, it's to point you to the whole in reality. It's to point you out of this paradigm. And the reason why they needed to do the Charlie Kirk situation is because it worked so well when they did the Trump fake assassination. It worked well. And they are losing favor. The Republicans are losing favor. So this is what Source said. So the Charlie Kirk situation will also serve as a tool and a tactic that the Republican Party can use once more to sway the people into their, onto their side. So that is what's going on. Now, something very interesting where Candace Owens says she believes that both her and Charlie were getting handlers around this 2018 period where she was referencing today. And I find that very interesting because what have we been doing here on this channel? We've been talking about the entity that is attached to Candace Owens, not just to Candace Owens, but it's attached to literally all of these players. So when I tell you guys, even though they all appear to be separate, when we zone out, they all are being ruled by a reptilian. This is who is talking through them. So when Candace Owens is saying that she believes that she's had handlers, that like Kanye, they gave her handlers, and that they also tried to give Charlie handlers as well. And we got Candace Owens and kind of Charlie Kirk now inside of this game, as as she's kind of like, as she kind of paints it, they're like in their own world of like source codes, right? And the world is out to get them, and they're the ones who know the truth, right? They're the people that are going to lead the people, right? So it's a very interesting take that she kind of gives because it aligns with a lot of the stuff we've been talking about, the biblical references, right? With in some way Candace Owens still needing to complete her work as Rebecca from the Bible, the mother of both Jacob and Esau, mother of both the black and white races. And it's interesting too because she has what? Biracial children. You can't make it up. So in a way, she's doing this work. So it's like, when they say when art starts to emulate reality, that's kind of what the life Candace Owens is living. And I don't know if she's drawing these parallels, but I'm here to tell you, like she's picking, I'm not sure if she knows how to articulate all of this, but she is picking up bits and pieces. So either she's watching or she's prophetic within herself. And I think that Candace Owens is prophetic. But the problem is now people are saying that she's cray cray. We got people who have not went through the tear in reality, still talking mad stuff about Candace Owens. And it does look crazy when you have the right or left wing thinking. She will look crazy because remember, she's not necessarily all the way right anymore. And she sure ain't left. That's the whole point. That's the tear right there. It's where you literally say, I can pop out of these, political boxes. Another tear that we've been experiencing as a collective is I can pop out of these religious boxes and kind of be a lone wolf. And to people, that's crazy because People want to find a way to put you in a box. If they feel that they can put you in a box and they feel that they are safe from you, when they can't put you in a box, in a political, Democrat or Republican, or even an independent, at least if you pick a side, they know where to place you. But when you have someone out here like Candace Owens, kind of just looking like a loose cannon, the reason why people feel that way is because they can't define her in a box anymore. And that frightens them. It scares them because they don't know what she will do. And this is the easiest way to say someone's crazy. But in truth, is it Candace Owens that's crazy? Or is it the reality that we are still stuck in? Is that what is crazy? And so we have people out here, just, I'm going to play you something here. Hopefully you guys can hear it because it has music in the background. But we will see. One second. But there's people out here who truly just, think that, Candace Owens is crazy and she's lost it. So let me know if you guys can hear this. One second. Where'd it go? Where'd you go?
Need to have a serious talk about Candace Owens. I'm going to tell you this. In the beginning, when she really came onto the scene, she did a lot of really good things. She stood her ground. She stood up to people on the left in Congress. She said, yeah, no, not putting up with that bullshit. And she did a really good job. I want to give her credit where credit is due. She did a really good job of opening the eyes of the American people to the corruption on the left and the way the left was treating everyday people like Candace Owens used to be. And we have to be honest with ourselves now. I stopped watching her. Why did I stop watching her? And by the way, this is not a let's bash Candace video. It's not even about that. But I think if you have any level of emotional intelligence, you have to sit back and say, yeah, listen, something's going on with her and she needs some help. I mean, every single day she's spewing that she's got proof of this and proof of that, and it's this person's responsible. No, it's this person. And then it's the next person. She don't know shit. She does not know jack shit. If she was so dependent on these new dopamine hits and these new people going ooh and ah for her, and guys, I'm telling you, that's not emotional intelligence. If you are chasing her and you're following her and listening to her nonsense right now, listen, I really appreciate what she was, but I do not appreciate what she's become. And if you have any level of emotional intelligence, you should really sit back and look in the mirror and say, what are we doing here with this girl? She's not okay. And I'm fine if she gets some help and comes back to reality and becomes a great asset to the nation again. I will welcome her with open.
Wait, what the what? Like, seriously, did you look? And y'all know I'm not like a massive Candace Owens fan, but right is right and wrong is wrong. And he's talking about if she comes back and becomes an asset again to the nation. So you're only okay with Candace Owens if you feel that you can use her. Do you see how he's saying she lost her way and because she's not Republican anymore, like she doesn't agree all the way with Trump. So this is how he defines that Candace Owens has lost her way. Do you see what I mean? The whole point is for you to actually have your own aha moment, for you to have your own rip in your own reality. Candace Owens has done that and people think she's crazy. If you're on this channel, it's a spiritual channel, and we go to far off places and dimensions, I bet some of your friends and families have said that you're crazy as well because you literally went through the hole that literally is already open for you to go through because you see that there's something wrong and you went through that hole in reality. There's people out here. That's why I keep telling you, this thing is more about the splitting between the two atoms. And that is what Source is saying. It's not just the split between the awakened and the non-awakened. But source is saying it's a split between the atoms. Remember how I told you they wanted to change humanity's DNA? That's the end goal, is to look, the last upload will be us. And they want to change our DNA because that's what they always do. They slice and splice our DNA when we become awakened to a certain point where they can't actually do anything with us because we become a danger to their system, right? And so source is saying that they want to split the our atoms, and that is literally splitting the awakened from the non-awakened. And that's why they must bring the AI tools in, because the AI tools is going to be how they're going to try to get some sort of control from us awakened ones, the ones that have went through that hole in reality. And believe it or not, whether you like Charlie or you don't, he put a tear in the reality. And a lot of us went through. He opened a portal and a gateway for some of us to get out. And we're missing the larger thing here. Did they use him to serve a purpose so that the Republican Party could gain more favor? Because they have lost a lot of favor. That's what they used him for. But if you have your eyes wide open and you're not the walking dead, you will pay attention. Wait until the election time comes. They will use Charlie's image, they will use his name, and they will use his likeness. They will use all of him, every bit of him, to try to keep themselves in a seat of power, because this has nothing to do with the presidency. Remember, I said there's only one more seat at the global table. So if you don't believe that the Republicans are globalists, you are mistaken, because they are globalists. They're just in a different way. They're not a globalist as in like socialism. They're a globalist as in there is a one world government already in control. And there's one more seat at the table. And this seat is the high seat, the one that gets to rule the entire world. This is what the seat that Trump is currently trying to squeeze himself into. And that has been very clear this whole time. There's multi-dimensional things happening here. But the big thing I want you guys to understand is there is a tear in our reality. And Charlie, yes, opened it up. He provided some sort of light in the midst of a dark. You see how Source can use anyone for the job? But if your eyes are closed, you won't get this. And if you're listening to Candace Owens just to get your ears tickled, then you will miss this, because she has literally said everything that we've been saying. And when they give you this, when they do the smear campaign, you're crazy, you're crazy. That's their final thing to dismantle the tools of the matrix. So on one end, Candace Owens is speaking her truth. It's multidimensional. But on the other end, they are allowing her to do that. And remember, I kept saying that husband, and someone said here that the husband is a handler. Yes. And that's why I'm telling you, every time I try to get to him, like the energy keeps like there's so much going on that I can never get all the way there. Because why does her husband let her talk? If any husband that who loves his family and his children will understand that it appears that Candace Owens is in danger energetically because of the establishments that she's going against. But I'm here to tell you that it doesn't feel that she's in any danger, because what Candace Owens does not know is that she's being used to say all these things, because what they're going to do is to just say she's crazy, and then they will break her at the end But remember what I said, what happened to Candace Owens. She's going to find some safety in the Black community. There's something she's going to switch and do, and she's going to start to work with particularly Black women. And it's, you know what's interesting about Candace Owens? It feels as if she's working for the left. And I know she's not, but energetically, I'm getting a strong Kamala energy from her. And so what I'm saying is the shoes that she's going to be stepping into, like she may be a revered figure like that because they are trying to push her further and further away from the Republican sector because she's now a threat. She's a threat because she's went through the hole that Charlie opened. And by her talking, it's like, do you see it yet? Do you see it yet? Do you see the hole? Do you see the hole? We're supposed to be going through the hole, not just getting our ears tickled with, people talking and prophecies and all of this stuff, because it's time to get out of this paradigm. Because like I said before, it's the final judgment. And part of the final judgment is where they siphon the ones that are still hanging around, have not picked a side, have not decided to go up in consciousness. That's what I'm saying. So it's almost as if energetically, I'm reading this energetically, Candace Owens is buying us time. Do you get it yet? Do you get it yet? Get out, get out, get out. Like it's this whole smoke signal. Do you get it yet? How many more videos can I say this, right? It's a smoke signal. That's on one level. But on another level, Candace Owens is being protected by someone. Candace Owens is being protected. I'm telling y'all, something with her working with the left or Kamala. It's a strong energetic connection there. And if it hasn't happened yet, it is in the field. She may step out of both right and left, but be a political figure, but not necessarily for a particular side, but for particular issues. And I think these issues have to do with women. And I think that Black women may be the face of this work that she will start to do because she's going to have to pivot eventually away from this. Who else has more drama? Black people, we are very emotionally charged people. She needs that. Her energy runs off of, the explosive things. So she has to find something that she can connect to that will give her the same energy charge. I'm channeling this. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. So Candace Owens is saying she has a handler. And look, source ain't never lied. Why is my hand on top of my other hand? Yes, my whole body is a channel for source. Yes, she does have a handler. And it's interesting. My left hand is over my right hand. My right hand is my writing hand. And I also have a marker pen in my right hand. And the left hand is not allowing me to write with my right hand. So where is this handler coming from? It's very left-handed. It's very left. I know it appears to be the right. It appears that way, but it doesn't feel that way energetically. It feels as if the handler is coming from the left. And you guys know that in I happened to look at Candace Owens today because I haven't really looked. I just watch little clips here and there, but not really. But I'm telling you guys, Candace Owens looks a lot like this. And I'm not saying she looks like this, but remember, this was one of the first automatic drawings of Candace Owens. And remember, this was giving some sort of ancestral energy. like kind of tracing this back to like slavery energy. But you know, when I looked at Candace Owens today, she has that very defined jaw here, a more flatter, shorter nose, and then a very distinct forehead. You know, sometimes you just hit it right away. And this was definitely tuned and tapped into the energy. Now, mind you, these people have covered this energy field up. Remember, guys, I told you guys that a few days ago. They changed it. And I know because it is different now. But remember, she was being X'd out. And we found a man in the energy field when we flipped it over. Remember, I was saying that very early on, this was her attachment. See, that's his forehead, nose, mouth. He has a beard. This is somebody she's involved with businessly, if that's a word, within business, but it's also part of the larger entity because this thing is sedating her true self, allowing all of her energy to funnel back up to the Masons, to the secret societies here, represented by the triangle. And these are like little anchor points or even soul points, soul contracts taken with this Masonic order. And when we zoned out even further, we found that it was a reptilian attached to the left side of her, but not just her, also this reptilian started through Erica's left eye, was attached to Charlie and literally speaking through Charlie. So the entity and the handler, and I understand that she's saying it's a handler, and these are the words that she can use, but me understanding entities, it's much larger than a handler. Do I believe that I believe she has multiple handlers, with her husband clearly being one of them because he has not said a peep. And there is someone that she trusts that is covering her hand up. And I would almost dare say that they are controlling what she's writing. So a lot of this stuff that we see Candace Owens doing, someone is bigging her up on this and telling her, yes, keep going. Someone is writing this script. Someone that she trusts. But when we zone out past the handler, the only way you can have a physical handler is if someone primes your energy field spiritually first, making you a vibrational match for you not to find out that in fact you have a handler. And the ultimate handler is the reptilian that is hooked in. This is Erica's field. These represents 3 eyes, 3-eye atlas. Erica is one with the reptilian. The reptilian is in the left eye of Erica. And at the same time it's in the left eye of Erica, was at least speaking through the mouth of Charlie Kirk. Boy, I wish I remember how I lined this up. That one video where I lined up how the reptilian was speaking through him, it was spot on. It was spot on. I can't remember how I lined it up. We have to go back and look at that video. But nevertheless, this is also, there's the reptilian attachment that's going through the eyes of all of these people. But there is a bigger thing at play. This witch is within another realm, and she is keeping the energy together for the attachment. This witch, if you look here, this is a C for Charlie. This is his mouth. So when I lined the reptilian up, the reptilian fit like right here, And so the reptilian essentially is the one speaking through Charlie, spewing out this mutation to the nation. And he's cloaking it like it's Charlie. See the C's cloaking like it's Charlie, but in fact, it was the reptilian that we found. And these are automatic drawings, guys. You don't know what it is you're drawing. It's not until you look back at it and the source uncodes this. So these are just scribble scrabble. And then when you look back, it's like, whoa, there's something here, right? So that's the reptilian. And this reptilian is what is anchoring Charlie's feet down. So this is what I'm saying about these handlers. The handlers start in the spirit realm first. They have to prime your field for you to even accept the physical handler. You would never even accept the physical handler because you would already, know that what was happening. But when they prime your field and they bind your feet down, like Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk are sharing the same energy field. It's been clear this whole time, and they're both anchored by something outside of themselves. Another one of Candace Owens. That's her head down, her back. She's sitting on her bum, her feet here, and there is a literal anchor coming in to stop her movement. Charlie had the same thing on his feet the day of the incident. So that's what I keep saying. Was Charlie in on it? Yes, but a part of him had no choice because he's also anchored down. This is his head. That's Trump's energy in there. That's that 6 energy in there. That's the incident. He's slumped over, sitting on his bum here, and those are his legs folded up and feet in, and I wrote bondage. He had to do this. Even though he's alive, he still had no choice. Because remember, he was yapping too much about Israel and he was messing up the plan that Trump had. Because remember, Trump has this back deal he's doing where he appeared to still support Israel, give Israel all of the money, but on the back end, he's trying to cut Israel out from the seat at the table, the final seat. Trump wants it to be him. And I would dare to say, does Trump want it to be America? No, source gives it to me like that. Not that he's doing it for America. No, Trump wants this to be him because these are forever seats, meaning he could pass it down to one of his children. These are forever seats. What's happening? I don't think we understand how big this Charlie thing is. The whole in reality is literally the last smoke signal. Please leave. Seriously. And I have to give Charlie mad respect for that, even if he didn't understand what he was doing. I think on a soul level, he did. It's the last smoke signal. Get out now. And instead of us worrying about the digital ID that has already started in different places, even some people in Africa are saying, leaders in Africa are saying that's a great idea. This is the last bit of the freedom. Once that happens, and this AI atlas moves closer into our biosphere, it will literally apply this pressure through this sort of AI radiation. And it will literally help Big Brother this thing where it almost serves as an AI, I'm channeling all of this, an AI generator, where once they have the passport ID with all of your information and all of your health codes, and then they have all your social medias, they literally have profiles on us. The 3-Eye Atlas, which source calls AI Atlas, is the Grand Wizard mothership that just comes in and holds a vibration and literally binds us down to the system that they are co-creating with it as we speak. And so Charlie had to do this because that was the only option, because he what? When I remember, source showed me to like he was on Noah's Ark. What is Noah's Ark, guys? Noah's Ark is literally where you save the two of every kind. Remember, I was talking about the splitting of the atoms? You save the two of every kind, and then you sail away to freedom. Well, Trump was steering that ship and was the captain. Remember what I said? Charlie pulled up some massive floorboards in this Noah's Ark thing, and it was leaking water, and Trump had to patch it up. And this was the solution for that because he wants to pull out of the Israel lie, but Charlie exposed it too soon. So it prematurely made the water start to come up from the boards that Charlie already pulled up out of the ship, which is literally the tear or the ripping the hole in our reality. So this all coincides with that. And so now we have a pivot. Part of the Charlie Kirk situation was to still keep the face on that America is supporting Israel. But in truth, Trump wants to cut Israel out because if Israel is offered a seat at the table, Israel will be the ruler of this new one world AI paradigm, totalitarian world. And he has to cut them out. Because as long as Israel is in that seat, no one else will be that said ruler. And Trump wants that spot. So that is what is going on. It's very multidimensional. And so he had to partake in this because simply, what do you think would have happened to him otherwise? What do you think would have really happened to him otherwise? Because that's a massive thing to kind of get wrong, to mess up, right? So this is what I'm saying, guys. The whole point is the whole in reality is split. And it's good we're paying attention to all these things, but let's not pay attention so closely that we literally are offering ourselves up to just get captured into chains again, you know? So there's something else that I wanted to say. You know how I was saying that it's interesting that Charlie was in Trump's field? And I felt this very strongly energetically. Well, Candace Owens is now saying that this is the reason why Charlie is not here. She's blaming it on Trump. That he served, he served for Trump, he supported Trump, and Trump turned his back on Charlie. And to be honest with you, Candace Owens is not wrong on that. Maybe some of the details are off, but she's not wrong. Charlie was a sacrificial lamb. At the same time, was he in on it? Yes, but remember, I'm getting he had to be in on it because of what he was already doing, putting the whole in reality. It wasn't time yet, but see, I'm happy he did that because that's the final smoke signal, and a lot of us got out. So Candace Owens is not wrong when she talks about kind of blaming Trump because it's exactly what I saw. He was so much in Trump's field, and Trump used him, and there was a lot of quantum manipulation where this kid, that's how they look at him, was already in the field of Trump. And then Trump used him as an energetic shield. She's not wrong. We've been saying this. And so Candace Owens, the handler, is the entity. Yes, you may be married to a physical handler, or you may have people around you in your camp that are a physical handler, but they can't stay if you remove it in the spirit. Once you remove it in the spirit, these people will pack up, move away, something will happen. They just simply will start retreating. The energy will shift. You will awaken from the illusion and the spell, and then you'll start to question, who is this person I've been sleeping next to for the past 6-7 years? That's how it works when you remove it in the spirit. That's what I'm saying. This is the true handler, Why is every time I say Handler, I think of Chandler Bing from Friends? This maybe that's a message. What happened to Chandler, guys? He passed away. How did he pass away? Someone look that up. How did Chandler pass away? How did he pass away? Because I think there was some foul play within how he passed away. Matthew Perry. That's it. Something about that. Because I keep like saying it like that and it keeps making me think of Chandler. Oh, interesting. He passed away at the age of 54. That's 9. These are final endings, guys. When did he pass away? Yo, he passed away today, 2023. It says his death. That's what it says. It says his death on October 28th, 2023. Yo, you can't make it up. And I'm telling you, that's how energy talks. I felt a certain energy every time I kept saying Handler. I'm like, no, I feel Chandler's energy. Why do I feel Chandler Bing's energy? He passed away exactly 2 years from today. And it said it was an accidental drowning. That ain't it. That's a lie. That's kind of crazy, y'all. I'm wondering how his death has to do with this. I really need to find out more about how he passed away. Accidental drowning caused by acute effects of ketamine use. Mm, they're saying that it was a legal, like illegal substance found, and 5 people were in connection with his passing. Something ain't right. Is there 5 people in connection to the stage thing of Charlie? I'm getting a massive energy in my heart. Massive, massive energy surge in my heart. What happens when you drown? Does your heart go? Does your heart start to? Hmm. This is crazy. Mm. Guess when he was born? Take a gander. Matthew Perry. This is a ritual. It's the same thing. Guess when Matthew Perry was born? Take a gander at this thing. 1969. Guys, who else is, I keep talking about born in 1969 is their year, where they always find these people born in 1969 to do these rituals. Sean Combs is born in 1969. And Sean Carter, born in 1969. There's a lot of other ones born in 1969, companies formulated in 1969. I'm telling you, there is something very ritualistic about this year where when you connect the people to this year, it's always on some foolishness. Always, always on some foolishness. Interesting. I'm wondering why they like that year so much. Well, if you look at the 6 and the 9, right? And it's also a form of 369 as well. But if you look at the 6 and the 9, they kind of fit together. What's that sign? Is that the Gemini sign? But it's kind of like the inversion. So there's the upright, the 6, and then the 9 fits in. Like it's duality. That's why they like it. It's like that formula of duality. And remember the Illuminati and all this, they always do the checkerboard, the black and white checkerboard, which is also a form of duality, a symbol of duality. So I don't know why Chandler Bing is coming up here, but it's definitely given the vibe that whatever happened to him is literally somehow connected to this. And I don't know how. I really don't know how, but I know that eventually things will come out. That's what I do know. Very interesting, but I just got a massive surge in my heart. Give me a second. Okay, hold on, guys. I think it's a warning for Candace. I'm getting the vibe and like that Matthew Perry also had a handler. And he's saying that the handler was displeased with his positioning, like displeased with him, like wanting to do certain things. So when you have these handlers, guys, they coast you into doing certain things. And like kind of the question is what happens when you don't do them, is kind of the vibe that I'm getting from him as to the reason why his heart stopped. I'm really getting that strongly. Like his heart is what pains him, and maybe even what I'm hearing what calls him forth today. It's interesting. I didn't expect Matthew Perry to come in here. Oh, thank you, George Lopez, for the $5 super chat. Thank you. I don't know. I don't know why is Matthew Perry here? That's weird. But he's given a warning to what happens when you don't listen to the handlers. And this is why, this is a dirty game. It is a very, very dirty, filthy, filthy game. And, you know, I'm kind of getting the energy that this is kind of what they do to it feels okay, guys. I know this is gonna sound crazy, but it feels as if there's some sort of collective handler. Like it feels like, and I don't know if that's the entity or I don't know if that's all their systems of control. But it feels like, yes, on an individual level, but imagine if us as a whole were being handled and we had a handler and we were being led to certain places, but what would happen if we pulled away and we didn't please our handler is like the energy that like he's kind of bringing, like this is happening on a much larger scale. It's like a warning, to the ones of us that disobey. I'm hearing the assignment. Wow. Woo. Okay, I guess Matthew Perry is here. So I'm kind of just posed the question like, what assignment? And I kind of felt like a surge of energy, right? It's like the harvesting, right? Like you disobey because like humanity, like we've been getting vamped off of, and there's been heavy energy harvesting going on within our field. Like this is what he's saying, like what can happen to humanity, like when you disobey and you disallow for being part of this harvesting system. And in a way, this is kind of like what happened to him. And in a way, this is also a warning for Candace. Like it's all kind of the same thing. And that's why, like, I go back to it's almost like I don't know if she's speaking in code, but like Charlie ripped a hole in reality. It's like how much more can how much how many ways can I tell you guys, please exit? This is kind of the thing. Because I'm telling you, something is about to happen here, and I'm telling you something about these passport IDs. And Source is calling them health. The reason why they will be able to do this thing is because something will happen. I don't know if there's another pandemic or something, but it seems as if the way they get people to really partake into this, it has something to do with your health and to make sure you're like, it's for protection, right? It's for your protection, for your own good. Something with that thing starts to really connect all this stuff, in addition to the blockchain stuff going on. But that has always been kind of in the works, right? It feels as if there's a lot of people leaving smoke signals for us, humanity as a whole, right now, to literally exit stage left. And what is that? And this is when, if unless you're spiritual, maybe you won't get this part. Because I am a spiritual teacher first. I am here to lead humanity to higher realms of consciousness. And sometimes these things fall on my spiritual desk, like this psychic investigation. But it was because I was also on the other end of the hole that Charlie ripped open so that I could help pull people into the brightness of the new earth vibration. That's coming through very clear. Sometimes we get these massive missions. We don't understand why we do what we do. Why do we keep showing up? Sometimes I'm confused. Like, why am I already did a video today? Why am I doing another one? I just finished a bunch of sessions. Why am I doing another one? Something is telling me to do it. Like I feel an energetic pull. Almost I feel a responsibility. And this is what's happening on a cosmic level. This hole was always going to be open. Someone was going to help us get out. It's interesting because we have the other twin, that we have the Jacob, right? Which being George Floyd. I think that maybe that did serve a purpose, but I feel like Charlie woke up more people because it completed the duality. As of George Floyd, which actual his birthday and Charlie's birthday is on the same day, October 14th. Trump's birthday is on the 14th as well, guys. It's a different month. I can't remember what month, but his birthday's on the 14th as well. That's interesting. But the whole point is we need to step out of the right and the left. This has been the whole tear that they've been trying to point us to. And Candace Owens can only say it in so many words without saying it. So yes, she's looking crazy, but in a way, energetically, she doesn't understand this. Energetically, she's assisting Charlie in the work. Charlie put the tear. She's assisting to literally like click off the last bit of like stronghold so that people can like wake up and be like, oh, I gotta exit. I gotta exit out of right and left. Because what we're really seeing is when you get out of the red and the blue and you understand it falls somewhere within that tear, we actually get purple. And purple represents the crown chakra, total enlightenment, and we're going into our 8th vibration. We're going into our north node as a collective soul body. These are the roles that they are playing. Maybe they don't know it, but I'm telling you, on some level, I think they do know it. Both Charlie and Candace, on a level, I think they know it. And so I want you to understand spiritually, that's what's going on. But on one end, we have a handler, but then we also have a collective handler, is what Chandler literally has said. Don't get so caught up in the individual handler that we don't see the collective handler. Because the collective handler is way more dangerous. There is a massive healing that needs to be, and I'm hearing there's a peeling off that we got to do as a collective. We got to do the work, y'all. And there's sometimes there's some people who it looks crazy. Sometimes it looks like, oh, who are these like flower child people online healing the collective and all of that. But no, this is deep work. This is deep soul work. I'm here to tell you we gotta do it. We gotta do it, guys, because there's not much time left. The crack in reality is open now. And I think that I'm literally one of those souls on the other side that's going to usher us in. And it's not about changing locations. And everybody thinks they need money to do this. No, you need vibration. You need the key codes, the access codes of Zion. It's about gathering back your energy. It's about the soul retrieval. Any place you left your energy, detaching and denying and putting down your allegiance to the Republican Party, to the Democratic Party, and to the flag. You have to, because remember, the flag is soiled with blood shed. Sources said that Israel and America are in a blood covenant, and they have bloodshed from the little ones. That's the energy of this flag. This flag within itself has demonic energy dripping off of it. And this is why it's so hard to let go and to slip through the crack in reality. Is because we've been brainwashed to pledge our allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, liberty and justice for all. You see what I'm saying? How I I can remember it. But these are the indoctrination codes that they give to us very, very early on. That is what this is for. Get out of the red. Get out of the blue. Get out of the duality. I've been saying this different ways. Get out of the duality. Go through the ascension portal. Leave the old world behind, the old boxes and paradigm. When you break out of the box and you put down your allegiance to these things, it does a few things. They lose their power and their hold over you because in a one way they are handlers. Think about what these people do. They energetically coach you into believing in one thing and believing in another thing and doing another thing, where you are not even a sovereign soul, because you got to behave like a white man or a white woman or a black man and a black woman. You got to behave like a Republican or a Democrat. You got to behave like, whatever your career is. We have never been free. We've always just been coasted into boxes. We have literally went through every template. We've done it in the psychic investigation. We went through the race template. That was very powerful. That was very healing. where we found out the gag is there isn't any separate people. Everyone comes from one source. So that dismantles that lie. These are their tools. We have to break them. It's not enough just to exit. The reason why we can get to the new earth vibration is because we come into the gnosis, the understanding, the understanding of all of the major templates. The race template is a lie. There isn't any separate races. There isn't. There's just a splitting and slicing of the DNA. There's just groups of people for, millennials or hundreds of thousands of years being in certain areas, changing the way that they physically look. That's it. If you're more in without the sun and more in the mountains, what's going to happen? You're going to get more pale and lighter. If you're more in the sun, what do you think will happen? You're going to get darker. It's common sense. There isn't a separate race. It's all a lie. We come from one man and one woman, and that's it, and that is all. That's a lie. The religious template, Charlie ripped the hole in reality, and we got to see that it appears that people have been worshiping 2, 3, 4 separate gods, because one God tells the people, hey, you're going to get your reward in heaven. This is what it tells the Black people. You just need to suffer a little while longer. Your reward is not on this earth. It is in heaven. We don't believe in violence, right? We don't solve things with violence, even though that's how they betray us. But if you grew up in the Black church, then you know that Black people are very docile people as a whole. And they will give you chance after chance after chance. Too many chances. Too many. And then on the flip side, you have the white God, right? And I'm saying it like that because there isn't a separate God. But that's why I've been saying people have been worshiping a false God, because the God they've been worshiping is religion and not the true source. And then on the other end, the white God says, we believe in war and white nationalism and kicking out all of the immigrants, aka code for everybody that is not, of a certain complexion. And get this, this is how sick, when we put ourselves in these boxes, this is how sick it gets. There were a lot of Republicans that were actually immigrants, that because they had pledged their allegiance to the Republican Party, what happened? The ICE came to pick them up, pick some of their friends and family up. We've seen it happen. And these stories are playing out all over social media. And then you get Black people saying, yeah, kick these people out too, because I'm a Republican and therefore I have to think like this. That is the handler. The handler, it's controlling. Their energy signature is blanketed, and it makes you literally succumb to their agenda, because they are being ran by a reptilian. They are being ran by a entity. So when you pledge allegiance to these things, what do you think happens to you? You're being led by these things as well. And the hole in the reality is literally a passageway to higher consciousness, aka this world is gone. Everything that is left here will be judged. You know why? Because it will be dead. All of the dead will be left, the walking dead, the ones who will never awaken. Everything will be judged here because it's dead. All of us spark souls, the ones who get this gnosis, we need to go to the new earth vibration. And how do you do that? You disconnect from every single allegiance. Work on that tonight. Write down everything you've pledged allegiance to in your life. I don't care what it is. Start to release that before the new year. Break those chains. Because trust me, whatever is controlling these things at the top is controlling you. And then we wonder why we can't get sovereign and free, and why our life seems to be put on hold, because we got too many other energies controlling our field. So please work on that. And all of these templates we went through the Akashic template. We went through the religious template. We went through the race template. We went through the collective template. We went through the galactic template, right? We went through what? The politics template, whatever you call it, you know? And what we're finding is there's still good people in the world. And what we're finding is too, it's interesting, this curious case of Charlie keeps unfolding because, see, it's easy for us who didn't agree, because a lot of the stuff he was saying was against, Black people, right? Because that would rile people up. Guys, you have to understand too, he was a YouTuber as well. He knew what to say to get people in their feelings because that's more views. And he was able to what? Have the agenda of I wanted to say Republican, but in my mind's eye, I was saying have the agenda of the reptilian. So make no mistake about it, it's the reptilian that was speaking through him and that was really wanting him to say all these things. But nevertheless, even though Charlie said some things that maybe we all didn't agree on, and maybe he said some things that we did all agree on, but what you ain't gonna say is that Charlie was doing some spiritual work, whether Charlie knew it or not. And Charlie, baby, put a hole in this here reality. He did every bit of that. And for that, I'm like, hats off. And in some way, I feel that he understood what he was doing, even if he can't articulate it. My soul feels that on a soul level. He wanted to do that. Maybe on a soul level, he knew he would be a sacrificial lamb. And it's very interesting because that's kind of what Candace Owens was saying with those text message threads, that he knew that he would pass away early and all of these things. It's very interesting. The feeling I get energy in the pit of my stomach, and it leads me to the feeling that he knew something of he would do something of this magnitude. And even if it's not a real death, but the sentiment of the fake death is still has a massive impact. And I can feel it. I can absolutely feel that this display, it still had a massive impact. For some, it will be another dose of poison. The ones who didn't use this to get out of the duality, because he opened duality focal point. That's all this is. Duality focal point, I always talk about this. It looks like the void. It's when you have experienced the polarity of both right and left, up and down, black and white and all that good stuff, and you come back into the center and then you transcend duality. And what that actually gives you is a reality that is a little bit of both, but it makes something new. Hence, when you mix red and blue, it gets purple, which is higher consciousness and enlightenment. And that's where we need to be. And someone mentioned my girl Fleur Brune earlier in the chat. I didn't see what you said, but remember, Fleur Brune always talks about the purple pill. And she's been talking about that for years. And so essentially that's what we need to do. We need to have the purple pill. It's not the left or the right. It's in the middle. In the middle is where you transcend the duality focal point. It's where you go through the hole that Charlie ripped into reality. And every time someone passes away in this manner, it serves a dualistic purpose because it has to. On one end, it serves the enemy's system of confusion and control and their rituals. This is what Matthew Perry is kind of giving me this imprint. But on the other end, it serves as another opportunity for the wake up call. And it's your call if you will exit out that duality focal point, or if you will stay in the red or the blue, right? But that is what Candace Owens, I wanted to come on here and say that because Candace Owens literally is saying some of the same things. But I wanted to give more context in what is truly all behind this. So the physical handler is one thing, but the collective handler is this reptilian. And so as it's connected through all these key players, Charlie, Erica, Trump, Candace, and all of that, when you are underneath them, when you buy into their systems, hook, line, and sinker, all the way, you're like a zombie with it, then you pledge allegiance to the entity, to the reptilian. And this is kind of why, I don't know why Matthew Perry just came through, but this is kind of what he's saying. Pay attention to the collective handler. And what did I say a long time ago? They don't have to get literally all of us in line. They just have to get enough of the people that control all of us. That's what this is. And hence why they let her keep talking. She's serving a purpose to them. And because she's a public figure and she has a handler, two spiritual handler and this handler, her husband. And there's other people too. There's up to 3 handlers that she has. And there's some that come and go, so it doesn't look obvious. It's some people, I'm channeling this now, that they use for certain events. So she doesn't see them all the time, but every time she gets ready to do that said thing, she always uses the same people. So this could be something as simple as like a makeup artist that she uses when she travels just to a certain place, or a hairstylist, or simply just, something small like that. There are some that just pop in and out, so she doesn't get wind to it because she's sharp. They can't do it like that every day because she's not going to keep a group of people around her. She's not. So that's what I'm saying. So Candace, be careful. Some of these people that you see sporadically are in on it. You need to switch up the people you're using for flights, for engagements, hair, makeup, advice, like whatever it is. There's something that you're doing, not every day, but regularly enough where they have put those people into place. There's 2 of them I'm seeing now. One of them is a woman with dark hair. I'm seeing that very clearly. And she's an advisor of some sort of advisor, some sort of like political advisor, like, hey, this is what's going on here, this is what's going on, like a briefing or something of that nature. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Thank you, Sean. Okay, guys, so this was a lot, but I want to just come on here and say that, and whew, I don't know why sources bringing me to the witch's nail that we found in Candace Owens field. This was done on the 11th of October. That witch's nail right there, that's in her stomach. Remember, that's the one thing we didn't get to do. We didn't get to remove the witch's nail because remember we did the entity removal, and but the witch's nail is still in there. And to be honest with you, the witch's nail is coming from this thing, and this is outside of my pay grade. Candace Owens, sorry, this is like some galactic witch. Like she got a whole 3-eye atlas ship, baby. I don't know if I want to pull at this thread, but it's connected to her. It's connected to Erica via this Grand Wizard mothership. So yep, that is that, and that's what we're gonna do for today. And I'm gonna leave that here. I'm kind of just scamming through the chat really quickly. Someone said it's not just 1969, it's about traumatizing Gen X. Wow. Oh, yeah, Key Love says Flo Brune warned Candace Owen months ago. Telling you, she better listen. Because she is tuned and tapped in all the way. All the way. She better listen. Oh, someone said Fleur be tripping sometimes though. You guys know me, my two master teachers, favorite people, Fleur Brune and Brother Panic. Those are my people. Those are my people there. Um, so Matthew was possibly said as a child and numbered his pain with drugs, like so many actors. Yeah. Hi, Josie. Okay, I was just scamming through the chat, make sure I didn't miss anything. But yeah. Oh wow, the chat goes on and on. I can make it back that far. Okay, guys, I love you guys so very much. Subscribe to the channel and like the video. And they can't hold us down. Please, guys, write down everything you pledge allegiance to. We need to come back and really like release this stuff, and I'll do a deliverance ceremony for us to release this stuff. And I'm going to be doing that myself too, because it's just given like you don't know who you can trust. Like we got to get out of all these weird soul contracts that they trick us into taking. You think you're just signing up for a gym membership, girl. It's a whole operation. No, I'm playing, but you know what I'm saying, guys. I'm being silly, but I love you guys so very much. Thank you so much for being here this evening. And may Source God bless Candace Owens and Charlie and literally everyone involved. See, this is where you're gonna get to, like when you literally just travel through that tear. This is the vibration. It's where you instantly pop into love. I don't even care what either side said. I don't care if I never agreed with a word no one said. You just pop into love. That's how you know you're truly there. That's how you've went through the duality focal point, right? Through the tear, the little, the tear that they're trying to like, hey, get out of here. This is the last smoke signal. It's about to blow. So that's it. And that's all, folks. I'll see you on the next one. I love you. I love you. I love you. And so it is as we walk together in divine love. And you too, Matthew Perry. Thank you very much. Be well, guys. Bye.